Good afternoon. Yeah. So I'll be taking through what goes into the packaging. And say intelligent packaging development from the end-to-end solution, from the supply chain perspective, from the design stage till it goes to the production, onto the shelf, and then to the retails. So this is how the retail place looks like, and every brand tries to get attention from the consumer. Yeah. So, and this is a challenge, how to make the packaging innovative and make it sellable. So packaging, what does packaging involve? Packaging is more of complex shapes and different materials. So it involves different types of materials depending on different printing process. And then, of course, the rich graphics, bright colors, attractive colors, brand identification, and so on. So the packaging also involves quite a lot of regulatory constraints which needs to be adhered. So what are the value drivers for the packaging buyers? It's basically adhering to the compliance, minimizing the errors or the reworks, and time to market, how soon the product can go onto the shelf. In addition to that, the existing packaging needs to be enhanced and keep innovating it to meet the challenges of the competition. So with the end-to-end solutions in supply chain, it can be addressed. So there are 4 key areas when it comes to the packaging development. So to start with, it is the time to market, from the time the product is conceptualized and how the packaging needs to be done. If a packaging needs to be done for a product, today it's a manual process. You have to trust the scale what you use to measure the size of the product, and it leads to the error, and it's a mistake, and so many approval recycles. But with the sophisticated tools, you can already bring this product as a solid model into the application, and then start build packaging around it, the fitments, and then of course the packaging to the product. So this gives the right packaging to the product, packaging which houses the product. So at the same time, you'll also be making certain decisions, how effectively and how efficiently the product needs to be shipped, reducing the shipping cost. So by integrating the shipping efficiency at the designing stage, you know what should be the secondary packaging or the shipments, and then how much it can go on to the palletization, and then how efficiently you put in a container. So it is always, this is how the way it works. There are structural designers who does the structure in an isolated way. Then it comes to the graphic designers thinking that this is how the graphics would look like. So in the end result, when it is realized, it's already time and cost. So this is, the product needs to be recalled from the shelf, and so on. But when you start the design, combining the CAD and graphics, and work in an interactive 3D environment, where you can already have the first-hand experience, the first moment of the truth, how the packaging is appearing. So when it comes to the flexible packaging, it has different other challenges, various type of substrate and printing methods, which requires different kind of attentions. Something like if you are printing on a transparent substrate, you need a white base to transfer the ink so that the graphics get enhanced, the graphics get visualized. And then when it comes to the labels are appearing in different locations of the shape. And at times, the decision, when you are designing the labels, due to the sharp counters, the label may not be applicable over there. That needs to be identified during the design stage. With the help of the tools, The labels, you can interactively design the labels, at the same time distort the graphics wherever it is required. So this is a bigger challenge, distorting the graphics for the shrink sleeve. It takes a lot of time for the designer and the pre-media companies or the pre-press bureaus to prepare the file so that the graphics follows the contours of the shape and as per the materials which goes onto the shape. So it's a greater challenge. With the sophisticated tools, those things can be achieved by using the digital grid and interactively distorting the design, which goes into the production. So since the packaging is already done and you have to make an informal decision on how the packaging needs to be produced, what kind of material it requires and what kind of inks and where the product is going to be displayed or kept on the shelf. Here you make the informed decision when it comes to the materials, the packaging shape, how each color behaves, and so on. So after having this product with the material already there, the product is taken into a virtual store environment, so which shows the product how it looks like on the shelf. So there won't be any surprises. The product, when designed as a single product, may be looking fantastic, but when it goes down to the shelf, when it is put in the category, the similar category, the result or the appealing of the product may be completely different. So those testings are done virtually rather than going to the hiring the retail shelf space and working on the experimenting on the packaging development. Yeah? At the same time, you can interactively see whether the product has the shelf shout in the category, meaning it should be a changer in that category. It should be differentiating in that category. So next is the content management. Why content management? About 58% of the packaging rejections are because of the contents. Why contents? Because packaging, it is not just about the graphics, it is also an information carrier for the consumer. The consumer needs to know how many calories it has, what is the fat content, and so on. You designed a single artwork, but now it starts the variations. So you have variants, you have different SKUs. So this starts becoming more challenge. It doesn't stop there. Then you have to translate it into multiple languages. So ever-changing regulatories and the multiple challenges of languages and things like that. Today, the contents are exchanged either by Word document or Excel, by mails, and sometimes the JPEG image. How does this get transferred into the design? It is either by copy and paste or somebody manually typing it. This leads to errors and the approval cycles. The product design takes its own sweet time to get it approved. So when you make that same design, which can be an intelligent design, meaning tagging the design elements in a smart way, when the contents comes in, it automatically starts populating, be it nutritional facts, barcodes, the marketing messages, ingredients, symbols, and even the images. If you are doing the flavors from apple to strawberry to orange, those things can be dynamically created. So this completely eliminates the mistake, the content mistakes, which is 58%, as I said. So once the artwork is ready, so today it goes in various forms. It goes as a hard copy or goes as a PDF. But how do you involve all the stakeholders on a one platform and then start approving the artwork? At the same time, you dig deep into the design element, see the number of colors, separations, whether the barcode is fine, measure the length and width of the structural design, and so on. At the same time, you should also have the tools wherein you start annotating the design, meaning the designer will immediately see what are the changes needs to be carried out onto the artwork. And once the changes are carried out, the version will be uploaded, will be sent back for the approval. With the version control in place, you can start comparing different versions of the graphics and immediately see the changes onto the graphic. So having done all these things, then what happens now is it comes to the printing stage. So what are the requirements in printing? It has to adhere to the brand identity, and it has to be consistent in print. So you need a unique color capability when it comes to the packaging. When we say spectral data, it is nothing but, it's not just the 100% of color how it behaves, it is also reading the behavior or viewing the behavior of that particular ink, say 30%, how it behaves when it is overprinted on a different color. So this is how you have to map the colors. And packaging is all about spot colors, rich colors, bright colors, and it is very important to manage the spot colors too. And more, the short-run productions and digital printing coming into the picture. So you need to manage the multicolor printing, which should give the same result what in respect to the conventional printing. So then more and more the brand is going globally. You need to maintain color consistency and the brand colors. And this tool should integrate to a system somewhere the colors are stored in the cloud. If you know about Pantone Live, that is what it does. It's not just 2,000 or 2,500 swatches of color. It is about 250,000 color swatches. So how does this 250,000 color swatches derived? It is derived on the printing process, printing material, and the brand. So each color is tagged based on the brand, printing process, and the material. So as the Flexo is becoming more popular because of its flexibility and its economics, so the Flexo should deliver the equivalent result of gravure and offset. The HT Flexo technology, which is the combination of screen and imaging, will give the same result as what you get in offset and gravure. So to summarize, by adopting a holistic approach and integrating end-to-end supply chain, you speed up the package development, speed to the market, reduce the mistakes and errors, bring in the consistency, adhere to the compliances, and time to market. Thank you.